Once upon a time in Bitcoin, it was considered a complete scam and a Ponzi and a coin for terrorists and something that would never go up again. And we all know how this story ends. They all got proven wrong. But what if you are holding something right now that's going to go up in the future? You have no way of knowing, just like the early Bitcoin people. The early Bitcoin believers had no way it was going to do what it did. So when we look at this 2011 cycle for Bitcoin, what can we learn from it? We can learn that, well, Bitcoin can drop 93 to 94%. We can learn that. We can also learn that just because it dropped so much doesn't mean it needed many, many years to recover. It did not need that. If you look at this time to this time, this is only 6 months. 6 months. And then after 6 months, it recovered again. There might be a time in Bitcoin's future where something like this happens again. It might not be minus 94%. However, we now know there was a time where Bitcoin crashed super hard and everybody thought it was game over, and then it just started recovering. I think this can happen when everybody is so sure of a crash and we actually do get a crash, but it's shorter than everyone expects. That would be the recipe for this. Maybe we're going to live long enough to see it, because there's eventually a Bitcoin halvening, which is right here. Bitcoin halvening, we run up into it and Bitcoin recovers. And this is the cycle. We don't know why it keeps working, even though everyone knows about it, which is so frustrating to some. But this was the very first Bitcoin cycle. And everyone back here, they knew Bitcoin was different and special, but nobody knew that this price would be laughed at in 5 years. I mean, it's 2012 here on this date. By 2017, it goes up to $1,000. Then 5,000. And then 10. And then 20. I mean, we're talking about $10 here. Crypto can go up very, very high. But are you going to hold for it? You really got to think to yourself. Are you prepared to hold 94% down? Because it's easier if you just accept that it can happen and say, I have no idea what's going to occur in the next 6, 12, 18 months. I don't even want to deal in months. I'm dealing in years. Look how devastating this was. This was, we can go and we can check this. You got a 95x here and then a 94% drop. You know the green candles come later. But you don't know that was coming here. You couldn't possibly imagine it was going to come here. And the only people who could even participate in that upside were people who said, I don't care. It's either zero or up. And you laugh at that. But that's actually the perspective you got to have if you want to make it. There is no exit. Your exit is zero. Because the people who are holding it here, if they had an exit if it drops 20%, I'm going to get out, they didn't make it. But the people who you consider to be irrational religious fanatics, they're the ones who got to see these green candles later. And then these green candles. And then there's green candles. So who do you want to be? Do you want to be a coper who's getting out for a little 2x? Or do you want to participate in something with a momentum that's shown us time and time again that the party is not over yet?